John's the Vice President of ERA Real Estate here in Yorba Linda, North Orange County Real Estate, and there's been a big uptick in fraud, I've been told by you, in the real estate industry. And of course, all these people, this is typically one's largest investment of their life. Tell us what's going on.
Well, there's been a big uptick in wire fraud especially.
So let me explain to the audience. So what happens is when you're selling a house, you're closing an escrow. And then at the close of escrow, the seller gives the escrow officer the where to send their funds. And oftentimes it's going to be, $100,000, $1 million plus, $500,000, $200,000. So they tell the seller, or tell the escrow company, okay, go ahead and wire me the funds. And then that's where the fraud kind of is the main beginning of how the fraud starts. Is that fair to say? Is that wire gets compromised?
Right.
It's happening with the buyer bringing in their money and then the seller receiving their funds at the close.
Correct.
So tell us about the buyer. How does that work with the buyer bringing in her?
Okay. So they email the client saying, you have your $154,000 you need to bring in today. If you want to close by next Tuesday, you have to bring this in today. So obviously the unsuspecting client says, okay, I'll do everything I can. I'm at work, I'm in a meeting. As soon as I'm done, I'll get right to the bank. And the crook is masquerading as the escrow officer. Everything's coming from the escrow officer's email. It looks like the escrow officer's email, however, it's not. But they use the same signature line. They have the closing disclosure, the closing statement. They have the exact amount they need to bring in to close, so everything looks legit.
And they know this because they've been hovering over and watching this.
Correct.
Because they've stolen emails and or hacked into someone's computer.
You have so many parties involved in this transaction. Okay, so the escrow officer, they have the money. It's in the trust account.
Escrow's closed.
Escrow's closed.
They've got their $500,000 sitting in escrow ready to be wired somewhere.
They've balanced. They're ready to disperse. They've got instruction from the client, on where to send the funds to. Let's say the client emails that to the escrow officer. And most of the time, it's not the escrow company that's compromised because there's certain compliant. They have to be HIPAA compliant. They have email security. They have encryption, hopefully. But the client, unsuspectingly, most often is compromised. So the client sends the email out, it's intercepted by this criminal, and the criminal then sends this fictitious, bogus wiring instructions to the escrow officer. And they may even tweak the email that looks, again, it's coming from a different email address. That's red flag number one. But in the subject line, it says the escrow number, it has the subject property, and it also has the client's same signature. I mean, what clients should be doing? One, they should be working with an escrow company that sends things encrypted. If it's not encrypted and it has closing documents, they probably shouldn't be working with that escrow company. One. Two, they need to qualify the source. Don't ever email your account information. Don't ever get wiring instructions from email from the escrow company. You gotta see that person, that escrow officer. You have to have that trusted source, that title officer, whomever it is.
You gotta talk to him on the phone.
If it were me, I'd want to see him face to face.
Well, face to face.
But a lot of times people are out of the area, whatever the circumstances are, and they do it. They do it
via email.
Via email, or they do it via phone. Okay. So in that case, if they can't meet the escrow officer, I think they should trust their agent, and the agent should do the due diligence and say, hey, here's the escrow officer. Here's
just verify everything.
Everything.
Just you get an email asking for money, you call the escrow officer and say, hey, did you just send me an email to send you over funds? You've already met with the escrow officer. Better yet, come in and see the escrow officer.
Right, if they can.
Okay.
And it's better to slow it down. I mean, like I said, everybody.
If anyone's trying to rush you, tap on the brakes. So. All right. Well, I hope you all found that very, very helpful. We started around 12 minutes ago. John was worried he would only have around 90 seconds of material. I think he surpassed that. He did a great job explaining to our clients and people out there. Do you have any questions? Type in below.